What's up, everybody? This is Jason from Jason's Exotic Reptiles, and this is video number 4. So a question I've been seeing a lot online lately, and a question that I've been getting asked a lot on my posts is, do you recommend feeding in the cage or outside the cage? What are the pros and cons? And what do I personally do? So I feed inside the enclosures. If I fed outside the enclosures, it'd take me 2 weeks to feed all my snakes, and it just never get done. So if you do feed outside the enclosures, there's a specific way you should do it, and I'm not going to say one method is right or wrong. I do personally think feeding in the enclosures is better, but that's something for you guys to decide. So some of the advantages of feeding in the enclosure is the snake, as soon as you open this enclosure, it has a feeding response and it's ready to eat. How to turn that off is you use a hook. So you just gently tap the snake in the head with the hook, and that will, over time, it'll recognize if I'm getting tapped in the head with the hook or with an object, a paper towel, a Clorox bottle wipe, whatever it is, it's going to associate that tap with no food's coming. You go in, you pick up the snake, you do what you want with it. When you take these snakes and you take them out of the enclosure and put them in something different, you're taking a snake, you're picking it out of the enclosure, putting it down, and now it's waiting for food. So it's associating coming out with food. And with large constrictors, that's not something that you really typically would want to do. You can avoid this by using the same exact container every time you feed. But like me, when I did it, I never had the same container around. Sometimes I'd use a box. Sometimes I'd use a big Tupperware, a little Tupperware, whatever it is. So that's kind of the danger of taking the snakes out. The other disadvantage to that is you have a potential of disturbing the snake and turning its feeding response off. So when you take this snake out, you're now holding it, you're messing with it, and you're putting it in. Even if it's 2 seconds, it's got the snake now out of this feeding mode. Over time, if you do feed outside the enclosure, it's recognizing getting put down inside that with food coming. So that feeding response will pick right back up. But it's all something to consider as you're making your decision. Again, I feed in my enclosures. I think it's easier, it's safer, specifically when you get larger snakes over 5 feet. You don't want to get bit by snakes. Baby snakes, they have little teeth. Adult snakes, their teeth grow with them. So if you have a big snake, their teeth are big. I don't know if you've ever seen a retic tooth that came out, but it's not a little tooth anymore. They don't look like little needles. They look like some serious teeth, and they can do some good damage. So you want to keep your distance away from snakes, specifically when they're in that feeding response mode, and just be safe. Personally, again, if you have a pet snake and you want to take this snake out and interact, I never want a snake that I'm going to take out of a cage and put down and have it associate or think is food coming. So with hook training inside the cage, feeding inside the enclosure, every time it comes out, it never thinks it's getting food ever. So that's video number 4. Hopefully you guys like these. Keep dropping some comments. Visit my website if you want to check out some of the stuff I have. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys following. I appreciate the comments, and we'll keep it going. Thanks, guys.